morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.
Good morning, SKN. I am Jamie Morris.
And I'm Mimi Armstrong.
We're going to begin today with a brief look at the weather. It is partly cloudy with a 70% chance of showers today. So if you're heading out, please be sure to get your umbrellas or stay dry as you can.
Well, we'll start with the local news and Minister of Consumer Affairs to educate consumers on shopping smarter. And this news is coming from SKNIS. The Ministry of International Trade will continue its educational campaign to equip consumers with the knowledge to make informed decisions about purchasing and saving, especially at this time where there is inflation due to the global shipping crisis brought about by the notorious COVID-19 pandemic. The ministry's permanent secretary, Jasmine Warner-Weeks, said that the training will be conducted weekly and features topics such as purchasing power, finance, shopping, budgeting, like we discussed recently, taxes, business development, and other related areas. The training date and other details will be shared at a later time. She said, I think it's critical because if you have that information, you can now plan better going forward. And she said this on the Wednesday's edition of Working for You. If we are to become more self-sustainable, we have to now try to help ourselves. So I think this is a great initiative. And yes, I've noticed the raised prices in the grocery store. So some help on budgeting and planning better will definitely come in handy.
I think that's breaking news, everyone. Mimi shops at the grocery store.
I do.
Definitely. All right, so we're continuing on the local segment, and this story coming from SKNIS. No expired COVID-19 vaccines will be used in St. Kitts and Nevis. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has exhausted every possible channel to ensure that citizens and residents alike have access to COVID-19 vaccines, given the ongoing global pandemic and vaccine shortages. Medical Chief of Staff of the Joseph and France Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, stated, quote, I think it is important for me from the onset to state the policy from the Ministry of Health and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, in that we said very early we will not be using any expired vaccines on the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, end quote. At the time, Dr. Wilkinson was speaking at the NEOC COVID-19 press briefing. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws stated, quote, at present, the Ministry of Health is trying to get our hands on the next batch of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines, but in the meantime, you can mix and match. In other words, if you have received the first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine and you are willing to get your second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, feel free to go back to the health center and you can get the Pfizer or BioNTech vaccine as your second dose. So mixing and matching are allowed and approved in the Federation, end quote. And some statistics for you: as at January 20th, 2022, about 43,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered across the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, attributing to roughly 82% coverage rate of the first dose and approximately 76% of the second dose among the adult population in the Federation. So
I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we are definitely doing very well. And I know that there was some concern about mixing vaccines at a certain point in time. I don't know what our policy is on that, so it'd be good to research that. I know in larger countries, there were potentially some travel problems that resulted because there was a question as to whether or not one was fully inoculated against coronavirus, but we'll see how this goes.
All right, we'll move right along as we continue on the local scene. Workshop held to improve the capacity of officers to investigate and prosecute money laundering offenses. And this is coming from the PR unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Several police officers from a number of departments and units benefited this week from a workshop to improve their capacity to investigate and prosecute money laundering cases as it relates to a variety of offenses. The workshop was a result of a collaboration between the Office of the Commissioner of Police and the Royal St. Kitts Nevis Police Force and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. The half-day session was also facilitated by the DPP, Vastel Graham. The move came as a result of the mutual evaluation that was recently done on the Federation by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. According to Commissioner of Police Paulroy Brandy, although there is a unit for the police force dedicated to conducting money laundering investigations, it is imperative that all officers are able to deal with such offenses. So education, of course, is always great, and I'm happy that they will be able to take part, or they were able to take part in this workshop. So we'll take a brief commercial break and we'll be right back with more regional news. Stay tuned.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah, I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up. Yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. 'Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
You are watching Good Morning SKN live on Studio 327, and we are moving along with the latest in regional news. This story coming from the Jamaica Gleaner. The U.S. has unveiled changes to attract foreign science and tech students. So the Biden administration on Friday announced policy changes to attract international students specializing in science, technology, engineering, and math, part of the broader effort to make the United States economy more competitive. The State Department will let eligible visiting students in those fields known as STEM complete up to 36 months of academic training, according to a notice in the Federal Register. There will also be an initiative to connect these students with U.S. businesses. Homeland Security will add 22 new fields of study, including cloud computing, data visualization, and data science, to a program that allows the international graduates from U.S. universities to spend up to 3 additional years training with domestic employers. The program generated about 58,000 applications in the fiscal year 2020. The programs are designed to ensure that the U.S. is a magnet for talent from around the world, attracting scientists and researchers whose breakthroughs will enable the economy to grow. Government data shows that international students are increasingly the lifeblood of academic research. So for those of you tech-savvy students who are planning to study in the U.S., it might be a good opportunity. I know in times past, sounds like a great opportunity. I know in times past we've discussed the issue of brain drain.
Yes.
So, we say our qualified people are not staying long enough to develop, and that's a touchy point. What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I just think it's the U.S. trying to take all our geniuses. I know China is leading in tech right now. So, I could imagine lots of Chinese people going to the U.S. They seem to be geniuses when it comes to tech and math and science over there. So.
Yeah, but we have our own too, which is why I guess it would be attractive for some of us.
But they need to stay. Our brain, our geniuses need to stay here.
So my thoughts on it are simple. You go, you develop, you spend enough time, and if you want to, you come back later with the skills that we need to even develop further. So I have no
issues. All right. Well, pending they come back, I'm fine if they go out and get experience and stuff, but come back home.
All right.
But yeah, that was our regional story. Well, that was an international story, wasn't it?
That was regional.
Regional because it's with. All right, I'm sorry. And now we're going to move on to international news. South Africa doctors fear new coronavirus variants could evolve in untreated HIV population. And this comes from Sky News. Omicron was first picked up by technicians in a laboratory in South Africa. A few weeks later, a handful of doctors at the main hospital in the country's capital, Pretoria, provided their first analysis of its behavior after admitting dozens of new COVID patients. It was at that point that Steve Baker, at Baker Academic Hospital, Dr. Farfad Abdullah told the world that Omicron was not like the variant which fueled the previous waves. This strain was highly infectious, as we've experienced, but it was significantly less likely to put people in the hospital or cost them their lives. Major studies in the UK and the US on the severity of the disease have confirmed these initial observations made in South Africa. Yet, there's another issue now concerning this clinical and the rest of the medical community in South Africa. Surveys indicate that more than 3/4 of the population have already generated immunity previous to COVID-19 infections. One reason why Dr. Abdullah and the others think the fallout from Omicron was relatively mild. So, at least it ends on a good note that most people seem to have, that immunity because we've all, lots of us have caught it and gotten over it. So I'm just hoping for better and better news as it relates to the panoramic pandemonium, Panda Express. I'm over it. I'm just that over it. So that was the end of the latest. Make sure that you stay tuned. We have some exciting guests already in studio, ready to sit and chat with us. So keep it locked.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis. You don't know for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat. And you Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kititian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Traveling is an extremely exciting experience. We all may be familiar with the term wanderlust, which is a strong desire for or impulse to wander or travel and explore the world. We pack our suitcases, brimming with excitement, and plan our adventures months in advance. While this is the more appealing side of traveling, many are not familiar with the behind the scenes. There are aviation professionals responsible for the operations, management, and business aspects of the air transport industry. One such professional is St. Kitts and Nevis National, Dennis McCall Jr., who is currently working on attaining his doctorate in air transport management. Dennis, it is such an honor to welcome you to Good Morning SKN. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm feeling good. Happy to be on the show. I've heard a lot about it so far since you guys premiered back in December, I think it was. So honestly, it's a pleasure to be here today.
All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about, so let's start our conversation this way. You are currently working on completing your doctorate, and you already have your master's degree in air transport management. What about this field appeals to you most?
Sorry, can you just repeat that just
Sure,
1
I
second?
will. So I was saying that, well, based on my experience with you, I know that you are a perpetual student. So currently, you're working on your doctorate.
Hi, how are
You
you?
also have a master's degree in air transport management.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, why this field? What interested you in it?
So since I was younger, I always was interested in aviation. I think I can recall the first time I was interested in aviation is when I was 5 years old. I was in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and if most of us know St. Thomas, there's a sea terminal, seaplane terminal that's there, and I can remember that we were driving in Charlotte, Somali, and I was like, "Whoa, it's a plane!" Like it was taken off from the water. And it was so exciting to see something like that, especially as a young lad, right? So since then, I was always interested in aviation. Really and truly, I wanted to be a pilot originally. It's still a goal, but maybe not now, but further down in life, it's still a goal. But when I was looking at the cost of pilot training, I realized that it would have been an arm and a leg. So I did some comparison to actually going off and studying my degrees first. And it actually worked out to be cheaper to go and do my degrees first than to actually go to pilot study to do my pilot license. So I think that's why I'm so interested in aviation. I just love airport. I love the smell of jet fuel. I love looking at planes take off. I just like the whole operation from the time you check in to the time that you're up in the air. You know, that's something that I really and truly love. And you know, we have this saying that do something that you love and you will never feel like you're working a day in your life. That's exactly how I feel. Doing my master's in aviation, doing my PhD in aviation, that's exactly how I feel. It's something that I really, truly enjoy and I love to do.
Well, you've already hit some of the nails of the questions that I had to ask you in terms of what's involved in air transport management. Was there anything that you left out?
We look a lot at passenger feedback as well. I think that's very, very important. I think the part of air transport that I love the most is the marketing side of it. I really love looking at different commercials from different airlines and look to see like how can they appeal to us as travelers. Seeing that there are so many different airlines in the world, I love to see how they're so competitive against each other. You'd also look at the airport side of it, the airside operations, and you'd also look at service access as well. So looking at all the different train systems, the transportation systems, so like the buses, even car parking in an airport as well. All of these fall under the air transport management umbrella, you could say, yeah.
Well, that's very fascinating. I want to delve briefly into your master's dissertation. So your dissertation was entitled The Caribbean Aviation Sector, Past, Present, Future, where Abi go after. I like the colloquialism mentioned there. So what can you tell us about that dissertation, the experience in writing it, and what you took away from it as well?
Yeah, so during that dissertation, I already had an idea of what the Caribbean aviation market looks like. And I don't have to be the one to tell you guys that aviation within the Caribbean is in a dire state. And actually during that dissertation, I was able to pull information from a lot of different documents that were published in the Caribbean and pull it all together into one report, really and truly. And to me, it's very alarming. And some of the things that I wrote about in the dissertation actually came to pass. The whole Liat collapse thing, it happened in the middle of my dissertation, and I had to rewrite almost an entire section, I think it was, when Liat had collapsed. You're looking at high travel taxes. This is something that's it's a killer here in the Caribbean. Why should I have to pay almost 500 something US one way to travel between St. Kitts and Barbados, and 3/4 of that cost is travel taxes? So that's a killer. You'd also need to realize that we're not investing in aviation professionals within the Caribbean. In my research, I found that only St. Martin is actively investing in their young people for them to go off and study aviation. You'd also realize that connectivity is a problem. Even in this present day and age, yes, Liat collapse, yes, we have I think it's called Inter-Caribbean here, but connectivity is a problem. I should not have to wait a whole day or 2 days to travel from St. Kitts to go down to Trinidad or to travel down to Guyana. These are problems. The Caribbean region, we cannot survive without aviation. We don't have any alternative modes of transportation. There's no sort of ferry that's there, even though we've been talking about the ferry for such a long time. This hasn't come to pass as yet. You'd also have problems where there is no cohesion between the air transport policies within the Caribbean as well. So those are some different things I was able to pick from my dissertation. In terms of where do we go next? One thing that I suggested was that we really need an air transport board within the Caribbean that is totally independent and it's outside of CARICOM realm. There is I think it's an aviation safety oversight committee, but that falls under CARICOM. Not every single island within the Caribbean is part of CARICOM. Yes, you would have your different civil aviation authorities, but because the Caribbean relies so heavily on air transport, we need to look at it collectively and not look at it on an individual basis. So whatever St. Kitts and Nevis does for the aviation industry, we should always be linking with Antigua and Barbuda and it's St. Martin as well, even with Barbados.
Approach.
So
yeah,
it really needs a regional approach to it. Yeah.
Dennis, I hate to interrupt you. We have to take a commercial break, but we will continue this very engaging discussion in a moment. More Good Morning SKN when we come back. Stay tuned.
Next, please.
Good morning, Mommy. How are we today?
We are okay. I brought in Bobby to get her first HPV vaccine to secure her from this cancer-causing menace. I'm just trying to make sure my girls have a chance at enjoying life, you know?
You look unsure about something. Are you okay?
I'm a little nervous. My boyfriend found a lump here the other day, and now I'm freaking out.
I understand how you feel, but let's take care of Bobby first. First, let me explain about this vaccine, the HPV vaccine. The HPV vaccine protects both boys and girls. This vaccine can prevent most cases of cervical cancer and some cases of sexually transmitted infections. Mommy, that's it for Bobby. Can we talk privately for a few minutes? It's really good that you told me about your boyfriend finding the lump. I'm glad that you weren't too scared. Mommy, when was the last checkup? I mean, which includes your breast examination and the pap smear.
Honestly, I don't know anything about pap smears. Is that something you do during childbirth? Because if that's the case, I would have done it twice, right?
A pap smear is an examination of your vagina and pelvis area. It should be done for females between the ages 18 to 69 at least once a year. The World Health Organization recommends that the doctor or nurse that is doing the examination remove the cells from the cervix and check for any abnormal cells, cancer, and the human papillomavirus, which causes cervical cancer. If females get regular tests, anything unusual or abnormal can be treated and seen in its early stages. The girls are being vaccinated before age 30 to reduce the risk of getting cervical cancer. Women tested early and girls vaccinated can help us end cervical cancer. Don't be afraid. It's a simple examination which will be over very soon. Come on, let's get tested.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are talking with a PhD student, Dennis McCall, Jr. Dennis, shameless plug here for WashU, right? Because you are representing the Washington Archibald High School. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, what do we call ourselves here? The shameless.
Yeah,
wow.
we have to big up the Wildcats. We have to big up the Wildcats. You know, every single where that we go, we always show out. And you know, that energy that we have that was built into us when we went to WashU. So I have to give a shout out to the amazing Washington Archibald High School, definitely.
Awesome. I know when the current students are going to look at you and see this interview, they're going to say, you know what, I can do even as much as Dennis is doing, or maybe even a fraction. And it's good to see you doing what you do so well. So thank you for representing Washington Archibald High School, St. Kitts, you know, everything, St. Kitts and Nevis. All right, so we're delving into some of your other pursuits because there's a lot to you, Dennis. So before you went to study, you were a youth parliamentarian and a youth ambassador. And while abroad, a member of the Royal Aeronautical Society. What is the Royal Aeronautical Society? And as a member, what were your duties?
All right, so the Royal Aeronautical Society is just where aviation professionals around the world actually you're able to get membership, where you do a lot of different training. So for me, I'm a student affiliate. So once you're a part of any air transport or any aviation related course within the United Kingdom, you're able to just apply for it. Being a student part of the society, we don't really have a lot to do per se. That's if we want to volunteer for different positions in the main what do you call it? In the main region where you're at in the UK. So because I'm in Leicester, I don't really have a position per se because the other branch is in, I think it's in Loughborough, and the other branch is in Birmingham as well. So because it's so far, I want to say it's very far, but because it's a kind of distance away from me, I'm just there as just a student. I just go to their different webinars and try to network with other young aviation professionals. Yeah.
Well, something that I didn't mention before is that you're currently enrolled in the De Montfort University in England. So how long have you been? I lost sight of you or track of you for a while because you have been doing the student thing for a while, from the Caribbean to international places. So let's go again. How long have you been in England? What has that been like, adjusting to it, etc.?
So I've been in England since 2019. I went straight from doing my bachelor's at UE in Barbados. Big up to the Blackbirds.
Of course.
I went straight to England to the Montfort University. So this is my third year actually there, because I did my master's there, and I went on because of a good opportunity. I went on to do my PhD. So I'm in my second year right now at the Montfort University. Settling in England, it was a challenge at first because you're coming from the nice warm climate, and then to go to England, it's very cold. Like I can remember the first winter I was there, I actually cried because I was like, this type of cold, I'm not supposed to be this cold. I found it to be so unfair. But I really love it now. Like I don't really love the cold that much, but I really love it. For me, I think it's very affordable. Well, my city, so I'm in Leicester, is a very affordable student city, especially when it comes to food. I'm a foodie, so I really love buying fresh products and stuff like that. It's easy to travel when you study in the United Kingdom, unlike here studying in the Caribbean. You could just go for a weekend trip. Let's say, for example, I wanted to go to Spain for a weekend. I can do that for £10. A round trip ticket. Not round trip. A round trip ticket is like £10 on Ryanair. So we do get a lot of different opportunities for us to travel in Europe whenever you're studying in the UK, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, in our final moments, Dennis, because time certainly does fly when you're having fun, they say. We saw a tribute video you did for St. Vincent and the Grenadines after the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano. Why did you feel the need to do that?
I felt hopeless. Like I remember just being at home, and I was talking to my friend in St. Vincent at the time, and he was just explaining to me like how he felt. And I remember I just get goosebumps, and I was just, man, I feel so hopeless. I felt like I couldn't do anything whatsoever. Like I just wanted to like hug my friends. And then I was just like, you know what, bro, just go ahead and sing. So I linked with one of my friends from the UK. And he has family in St. Vincent as well. So we came up with the arrangement to be like, you know what, we can't really do much. So maybe us just singing and you just playing the piano, that could really and truly help some persons. Really and truly, just calm them down just a little bit and just give them that sense of a surety that, one, you're not in this alone. Like, even though we're not physically there, like we're all over here praying for you guys. So yeah, I really wanted to do something to make me feel like, like I just didn't want to be helpless.
Yeah, and I would say that it's good to see that even in the midst of your academic pursuits, you're still so magnanimous to do something like that. And that is a good representation of who we are as Kitishans and Divisions, a good representation of you. So I'm wishing you all of the best Continue to do what you do. We are
you.
all proud of you back home. Thank you for joining us on this
Thank you.
edition of Good Morning SKN, and all the best to you, Dennis. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
More Good Morning SKN. In a moment, we will be back. Please stay tuned.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
So nurse, what now?
Let me explain. I'm going to put your feet in these 2-meter stands called stirrups. Your legs will be open, then I will insert my fingers into your vagina and make a check. After that, I'll insert this. When that is inside of you and open up, I can see your cervix better. Then I will use these other devices to help me remove the cells from your cervix and check for the cancer and the HPV. Just relax. It will be over very soon.
Nurse, that wasn't so bad. I thought it would have been very painful.
I am glad your first experience was a good one.
So, when will I get the results?
The results usually return in 3 weeks. You have to come back here to the health center and I will explain. If there's anything abnormal, I will make a referral to your gynecologist.
Okay. Can I get the HPV vaccine my daughter got?
No, I'm sorry, you cannot. The World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization did a lot of research and found out after persons are sexually active, the vaccine does not work as well.
So what's the best way to prevent me from dying from this HPV?
Just what you did this morning. Early and yearly screening for the HPV virus and checking for changes in the cervix with the Pap test.
How do they know they're not sick?
I know, it's really sad. In 2014, 1 in 4 women in St. Kitts and Nevis were tested positive for one high-risk type of HPV. And in the last 10 years, the number of women with cervical cancer has increased.
See what I mean? But it's good that you could get the Pap test, the HPV vaccine, and the breast checks all at the same time.
Yes, share what you've learned with your family and friends. We in the Ministry of Health are encouraging women to come and have these tests done every year because cervical cancer can be effectively treated if detected and diagnosed early. So let's both do our part. It's time to end cervical cancer.
We just spoke to an air transport management student, Dennis McCall Jr. Now we're going to talk to another student currently studying in Taiwan. Many know Clelia Davis for her musical background. She is a classically trained pianist and a lover of the arts. Clelia has an intellectual side as well. She's a young scientist and science educator who always enjoys a new challenge. She's pursuing an International Master of Medicine in Taipei Medical University in Taiwan. Please help us welcome her to Good Morning SKN's Connections. Clelia, it's our 100th guest appearance. Drum roll.
Oh, wow.
Jenny's supposed to be giving me a drum roll, but he's not here right now. So congratulations.
Wow, thank you.
That's really, really exciting. So ni hao. That's the one thing I know.
Excuse me?
I said ni hao. That's the
Oh,
one phrase that I
oh,
know.
你今天好吗?
Wow. Can you tell me what you just said?
How are you today? How are you doing?
All right, wonderful. So you are a classical pianist. I think I saw you on Christmas Day playing some of my favorite songs. And there are so many instruments to choose from. Why did you go with piano?
Piano. Well, I think my love for music started when I saw the organist, well, the former organist in my church way back when I was probably about 2 or 3. And I was just intrigued by the movement of the hands and the feet at the same time. And I always wanted to just go and play on the organ. And at that point in time, I didn't know the difference between a piano and an organ and a keyboard and all these things. But
I still don't.
That is that is what really sparked the interest. And then, over the years, starting music class, the main instrument back then was the piano. No, we branched out a lot, and different music teachers, they offer different instruments, but at that specific time, I don't know, I just love my black and white keys. The sound and the tone of the piano and how versatile it could be as an instrument. It's just truly a part of me.
It's definitely a different feeling. Like even hearing the sound that comes from a piano, it's totally different. The vibrations, I could understand. So, I mean, outside of playing the piano, you've been a music educator for 10 years, which I think is crazy. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? You have to be like 15, clearly. So I don't know how you're teaching piano for 10 years.
I know. I went to the Earl Swanson School of Music, and things just took off from there. We normally partake in a specific curriculum from the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music, which is based in London. So after, I would have gotten to a certain grade, Miss Winston would have said, clearly you could help out a little bit, help the little ones that's coming in, and that is where it really started, and it sparked off from there until she actually hired me as an assistant tutor. And then it just went from there, because it wasn't only at music school where I taught, and it wasn't only piano. I used to direct different choirs and things like that. And even when I went to the University of the Virgin Islands in St. Thomas, I was the choir director and pianist for the junior choir there at one of the churches, Christchurch Methodist Church. And I mean, it just sparked from there, even in terms of not being a formal teacher, but even being a consultant. I would have consulted with persons like Lucas H.E. and things like that. And if anybody wants any sort of musical assistance or what should I say, encouragement, like they always want to call on me, and I'm more than willing to help. Even like pageantry, I would have assisted the former national queen Hadai in her performing talent.
Wow.
So it's just a part of me, not only to play from myself, but I really enjoy imparting my knowledge and seeing other people blossom within their own rights,
That's amazing. And you mentioned Lucas H.E., who was here with us some time ago. So is it that it's not just classical music you're into?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Because he's a soca artist. Classical soca, night and day.
Not so much, right? So like I said, I started out with that, the jazz, the more vintage type music, and then I stretched my wings a little bit, and I ventured into being in a cover band as the second keyboardist. And even that experience in itself was like really great for me, because typically you don't see females being a musician in a band.
True.
Not
here.
yeah, in St. Kitts and Nevis, like you would normally see them being the vocalists and things like that. So when I joined that band, my horizons were broadening tremendously in terms of the genres of music that I became much more comfortable playing. And that is why I like to say like I am on a wave, because I feel like I could move from one genre to the next. If it's organ music I'm playing in church, or the Mozart and the Beethoven, or if I just doing a bubble and a strum or something like that, Yeah, I love it all.
Okay. So let's venture a little bit more on the clear wave. You're currently own a tutoring business, Discover Science Tutoring Services. How did that get started?
Well, actually, it was sort of a means to an end to solve a problem. So during my tenure at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, where I was a science lecturer, I realized that, some of the students that would have came to my class, having done the CSEC portion of CXC and now coming up to CAPE, I realized that there was a big gap in terms of things like critical thinking, the laboratory skills that they had, and just the overall concept of knowing what a CAPE student is supposed to be and what they're supposed to be capable of. And so I said, let me try and bridge that gap and form this tutoring service. And that is where it sparked. So I started in my community of Keon, Green Valley. So I had some of my classes at the Keon High School first. And then, Corona hit. So I said, let me just try to do some outreach. So I offered 6 weeks free courses online.
Wow.
Anybody that wanted to join, because I know CXC was coming up as well. So I had a bunch of students, signing up and things like that. And even if it was one session that they did with me, because you could have booked any amount of sessions for the period, right? Just first come, first serve. And I had students who were in my DSTS class who were now in my CFBC classroom, so I'm like, okay, well, the Miss Davis that you got when you were doing CSEC is not the Miss Davis that you're going to get when you're doing CAPE, and they're like, what are you telling me? I said, I'm the same person, but the level of difficulty definitely has increased, and you got to step up to the plate in order to be successful. And I always tell my students, like when you come into my classroom, think about it as a job. You know what I mean? So that is how DSTS was formed. And even while I was here in Taiwan, I kept the classes going, but I'm on sabbatical right now because I'm actually in my full degree program. I did it last year because it was just during Chinese, but right now I'm on sabbatical from that for a little bit, so I could just focus on that, and then DSTS is gonna be coming back even bigger and better than before.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So we're still continuing on the Clelia wave. You're currently involved in the cancer diagnostic research as a part of your thesis. Can you tell us about that as well? Like, girl, you're doing it all.
Okay, so I enrolled this semester, because it's just about to be done in September, and I rotated in a different lab actually when I started, and we were doing cell sheet engineering, which is basically like making tissues and things like that. So for instance, if you want something to, like a piece of tissue for your knee, your cartilage, or your cornea, to replace something that would have gone maybe due to an injury or some sort of degenerative disease. That's the type of lab that I was working in. But I transferred to a cancer research lab because I have a particular interest in hematology and oncology. So, and specifically breast cancer research, just because of its prevalence and incidence, not only in St. Kitts and Nevis, but globally, and the more scientific side of me, I'm very problem solving driven. I'm very meticulous, and I like to know that I can solve a And you know, I found a lab that was particularly close to my interest because I mean currently my grandmother, she's suffering from breast cancer, and my other grandmother, she passed as a result of that. So it's something that is very dear to my heart. And I have a particular interest in that, not just for the obvious reasons, but because everybody is doing something and I want to be able to find my niche. Like, what is there that is not being done as yet, and how can I contribute to that problem and be able to solve it efficiently? So within my lab, we are looking at ways in which we can monitor breast cancer recurrence after surgery or any sort of treatment, and also to have some sort of target therapies for the more, let's say, serious or debilitating types of cancers.
All right. Well, again, we've been on the Clear Wave, and there's so much more we'd like to talk to you about. I'm sure there's so much things you could tell us about, but unfortunately, we've run out of time for today. So, Clelia, it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Wonderful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. I mean, you're involved in so many things. So in December, I saw you playing piano. So maybe in March, I'll see you doing something else.
Maybe.
Looking forward to it. Thank you again so much. You're watching Good Morning SKN. We'll take a brief commercial break and we'll be right back.
Good morning. This is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good Morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
This is Good Morning SKN with Mimi and Jamie on Studio 327.
Sugar Mass 50 was packed with exciting events. We experienced the intoxicating sounds of the steel pan, playing Mass at Bubba Juve after a year off in 2020. We also had the privilege of witnessing the poise and grace of this year's National Carnival Queen contestants. Today, we will be reflecting on one of the most exhilarating events, the Soca Monarch Finals. Last week, Good Morning SKN featured Mr. Hype, the Power Soca Monarch. Today, we are joined by Nietzsche B, the 2021-2022 Groovy Soca Monarch. So, welcome to Good Morning SKN, Nietzsche B. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
All right, man. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. All right, so this is the second time that you have captured the Groovy Soca Monarch title. How was the competition different this year from the previous ones, in your estimation?
I don't really have an answer for that. Every year have your own challenges. It's basically the same thing, but just come with different challenges and just gotta find different ways of being creative and stuff like that. But you just the same ways, if you understand what I'm saying. There ain't nothing big, major difference. It's just you gotta focus on what you want and you know what you're into. It's a competition. You work based on it's a competition around that and try to find the little elements that who fit in that people could relate to, from kids to adults. But I can't get out of strategies.
No, you can't.
Yeah, it's just preparation in a whole, like just staying focused, know what you're about. Just keep on topic. That's basically that's the remedy for it.
So what you spoke about preparation. I mean, what else does your preparation involve? I know some people go running, make sure they're fit, they're in the gym. What does preparation involve for you? Do you also write your own songs?
My preparation is an ongoing thing. I do this every day. I do this every night. I just put on instrumentals every day and just sing for no reason at all.
Oh, wow.
Every single day. So it's just a part of me. I don't understand when people say preparations and stuff like that, because if you're a mechanic, you're supposed to know you're a mechanic and you're going to work every morning to do what you're supposed to do. If you're a doctor, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So the practice comes with the journey, so to speak. There's nothing really you could learn to say, okay, I could practice this and do that. You don't come like that. Whatever you're doing, it go with you apart to being what you're doing. You know what I mean? So if you come and you set, you might go to school to do all that, and then when you come here, you're stuck in front of the camera. But the experience now over the time help you to build the courage to do what you do, and you get more relaxed at what you do. The more you do it, the more consistent you'll be doing something. So I just try to be consistent, whether unseen or half seen. So I keep consistent within myself. I keep myself motivated, and that will keep me going forward.
Yeah, that's good advice.
It's really good advice.
What motivates you? You just said you keep yourself motivated.
What motivates me might sound funny, but the people that hate and me good, they motivate me. So I just want them to keep hating and just keep motivating me. Not in a bad way.
I get it, yeah.
You try to prove people wrong. That's how we are as humans. We don't like to feel less than what we are. So when people keep saying things, people don't say what they don't see. Well, most of the times. Or sometimes it could be propaganda and rumors or slandering and them stuff like that. But in life, we don't see what we're doing if we're in the circle, if you understand what I'm saying. We might be too focused on what we're doing, and when you see the ditch there,
right.
And then we hold
the bigger
you. Yeah,
picture.
so somebody over, you're going to say, Nicho, take a left, you got to hold you. Take a right, you got to hold you. But in all the time, somebody can always guide you through your steps. You got to learn your mistakes. Like major winning sink is, we got a slang called PhD, but we call it pato dodging. I don't even dodge no more, like I don't know what it is, so when I join, we kind of start to cover a little, so you get accustomed to do it, like you keep traveling every day, you know what I mean? So just come up to you, just say, oh, yeah, like, everything was laid back down to being consistent and doing what you love and staying focused. Yeah, you got the noise around, but you really can't let certain things hinder you from doing what you're doing, because nobody don't trust us that nothing. You understand?
Right.
And why would I waste my time on something that ain't even above me? So you just got to keep focused on some little things in life. Like, why me? Okay, well, keep moving. You're doing something good.
You're motivating me right now.
I mean, I was just gonna say, you seem like you need to be a motivational speaker.
For me, man, maybe the things I've been through in my life, me whole years, like, it's just a fight. You know, last night I was watching a movie called Don't want to tell any lies. I think the guy named Louis Mawinski, also he was an Italian, but the story basically he moved to America at a very young age. And he just got out knocked out because he was different. And he keep going up. He started running from the enemies so much that the enemies, the people, the white guys used to beat him up after school, he used to run home. He stayed there become the fastest man in America at the time. He went into the army. When he went to the army, he went on a flight, the flight crashed. When they crashed, the Japanese found them and they tortured him for the whole 5 years he been with them. And he reached back home to tell his story and he still went back to Japan, 80 years old, to carry the Olympic torch. So these are the things that motivate me to see what people go through in life to reach where they want to reach. And then you can't always get what you want in life. And success comes with a lot of bad sides too. You don't always be a bed of roses, you know. So you gotta know each level you unlock, you unlock a next set of problems in your life. You just got to know how to deal with it and resolve it.
Well, we're going to continue this discussion.
Yeah.
Getting to know you even better when we come back with more Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned, everyone. Welcome back. As we continue our discussion.
So we fit till all the one done. It's only time when the girl them a bubble and a wine and they bump and touch all. Sell it for the house party. And the backyard jam. So whether it's inside or outside, mash up your place alright. Jumping up in the street with all of me family, all of me. Touching every single vet until me drunk, until me weak. All the clowns and masquerade. Shoot your past parade.
And we are back. Engagement discussion. What was happening in the studio, right? But watching you perform, man, that was definitely.
How do you feel watching yourself?
I don't watch myself. I don't even listen to music after I don't record. Like, focus on the next song. Just the other day, man, this show them at the start. Like, you listen to music when you're on the card? I mean, say no, okay then. Yo, I think maybe we'll have to shoot the video, have a sing it again. You just focus on the next song. I guess that's the whole beauty about it, you know. You just focus on the next one.
So it keeps you. Listen, guys motivate me. That's you know, elevate the way that you have in the music scene. Very impressive nature. Very impressive nature. All right, so we just looked at. We missed that performer. What was going through your mind then?
Bye. We missed that. Like. Just get up a morning and walk out. I missed everything we're going on there. They always say that steady call me and say, Nature beat now, got a beat right now making. I said, why? I said, send me it. As soon as he sent me it, and for the first 10 seconds later, I said, come in the studio, you know. And I went to the studio and that was it from there. We just sit down and play the song, build a piece, okay then. Oh, I'm missing. Reminiscing, I'm missing it bad. Then we stop. Okay, let's go. Oh, I miss how we just party. Have fun with everybody. And touch down every party. But we can't. And then we stop there for a while. And I said, what could come in from your body? Me want this song go down. So I miss when they choke them up and they just keep beating from me. That's some vibes. I don't really like it. I don't really like the music. I just go in the studio and sing how I feel at the time. Like, I really writer. The people say I writer because I do my own stuff, but it just comes to you. Like an inspiration from the beat. And then steady as a man just motivate me to like the way he just move and the way he watch me in the studio, like, and the things he just said to me like, hey, you're bad, yeah. Like them little simple things that just make me motivated, you know. So like encouraging people just do a lot. Yes, I always try to encourage my daughter and stuff like that. Like we had a deal the other day. I tell her, if I get 100%, I get $100.
Well, I would like to
She
do
start to get $100. She start to get 100% every day of the week. You know, I pile up and I give for Christmas. So when Christmas come, I went and give her the money. You know what I mean? So it's just a little thing just to motivate her to do good, and then she work hard, she get rewarded. You know what I mean? So it's just something I put into she head from smart. She didn't understand what I'm doing, but I
She'll
just
get it.
warn if she work hard, this is gonna happen. You're gonna get rewarded.
Yeah,
Speaking of motivation, that frown that you have, right here, lift it up for our viewers to see. Is that is that motivation?
Well, for my kids, and my family, I like how they just feel. I like that my son and my daughter just fight over the trophy, who gonna hold which one. My sister, my uncles, them, and yeah, it's not only me, it's a whole family movement, because I got my cousins them behind me, actually, Zeke or Jenna, MJ, like a couple of us, like as a whole family movement. So we just keep it family oriented, and once I win, they're winning. So I gotta keep winning so they could feel proud of their work and what they're doing. Actually manage me and my son. And he's my little family too also, so it's just a whole family movement, if you understand what I'm saying. So I keep me motivated knowing that I want my kids them talk and be proud of themselves. Like, my daddy's a good singer, my daddy's the king. Them little, ain't not much, it's just the simple stuff.
It's a big deal, trust me. It's a big deal.
Some people just do it for like some pride and different stuff. I just do it to make my kids them speak.
Aww.
Pop, like, my daddy's the king of soca. That's something to brag about.
Something for them to brag about. So you were saying that, you know, it takes a team. Your family is very involved. We were looking at your performance just now, and we realized it's a whole production. How important is that part of the performance for you? Because yes, you have the lyrics, you have the song, you could talk really fast, you have that talent. But what about the dances and the stage?
It really add because like it enhance the performances, you know. So cause different people like different stuff. So somebody might get fed up hearing the voice and the straight. They might go straight to the dancers, and you know, like the appeal of it is what sells, you know. So people say, wow, this is creative, and there's a lot of things going on in your head. So you just bring a whole experience to you, you know. Yeah, make you feel like you're part of it.
Yeah, I think that's important. Making the art, and every time you perform, the whole audience is going crazy.
I think it's a spiritual thing. Yeah, like a very spiritual.
Yes, I gather that.
Yeah, very spiritual, and people don't believe in the spiritual world, but the spiritual world is very real. And you pray and stuff like that, things has happened. And it keep happening to me, because if I don't, I just test myself and say, man, praying this time, let me see what happens. If it's a mind thing. And then I'm gonna just drop short of it. If I pray, I just reach exactly where I want to reach.
Oh wow.
So just before Soca Man, I pray before this song, and I was successful. I remember my grandmother sit down by she grave and talk to her, because she was the last one. I tell her, Granny, we're going for this one here. So let me go. Boom, boom, boom. When you're done, you come back and rest. Like, these are the things I just do. Talk to myself and God. And then I didn't pray for the fire one. Nothing at all for that. I mean, plain place in the fire. So I just tell Mr. Nature that was the mistake. He didn't pray. You know, so you gotta pray over your blessings, them, and just make sure you show gratitude to God still, you know?
Right. Well, I like that. I learned a couple of things from you today, the PhDs, and definitely pray before you step.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for coming by and sharing a little insight into who you are.
Yeah.
I love this interview. I love the energy, and I'm wishing you all the best, Nature.
Thank you very much. I love the setting, so it's very
Thank you. More Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man go in jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
I'm here to St. Kitts, Nevis. You don't know for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts, Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mass up furlough, sanitize, observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mass up furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat and you. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here. morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
And you're still watching Good Morning SKN. Reading is one of the most popular pastimes. We can fully engulf ourselves in an alternative reality or learn a new concept with books. It is quite a comforting experience. On Friday, we spoke about some of our favorite self-help books. Today, we are sharing our top 3 books. Well, kind of top 3 books with you as we loosen up. So, one of my top 3 books is The Alchemist. I don't know if you've ever read it or heard it being referenced.
I have never, but for the benefit of our viewers, who's the author?
By Paulo Coelho.
Okay.
I think he's Brazilian. He's a Brazilian author. And the book follows this journey of a shepherd boy who wants to learn the skill of alchemy, which is the skill of being able to turn any metal into gold. And it's a really, really interesting story. He meets different characters along the way. And of course, the most the most important lesson isn't, actually learning to be an alchemist, but all the different lessons he learned along the way. It was really, really interesting. And I've read it a few times because it always inspires me. And every time I read it, I pick up something different from it. So
Nice.
that's one of my favorite books.
All right, so as Mimi just said, we're sharing our top 3 books. The number 1 for me is not necessarily number 1 for me, but it's my first book that I'm going to share with you in the top 3. Alan Topol's Spy Dance. So this is, yes, there is that cover that I love so much. Awesome. I bought that book while I was on a Greyhound trip, either to or from Georgia. And we stopped at a rest stop, and I thought, this book is very interesting. Spies, espionage, let's see what it's about. And when I read it, the level of detail in it, it was better than James Bond.
Really?
Did you
It
know
was
this
better
guy-
than a James Bond movie.
This guy went to do, he had to change his identity, and he went to do finger grafting. He had, plastic surgery. He changed his entire look. He didn't exist until he did. But very, very thrilling story. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who are interested in that sort of thing like I am. Go check that book out, okay? Really good read.
Another one of my favorite books is The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. I was recommended this book by my friend Asha. And she was like, yeah, you have to read this book. You have to read this book. And it's a book that tells 2 different stories. It tells the story of this 40-year-old woman who is not happily married, but she takes a job as a reader at this company. And she reads about this other story, which of course is playing out as well. And it's about Rumi, who is a mystic, and Shams. So Rumi is trying to teach Shams the way of becoming a mystic. And again, it speaks a lot about love, as you said, as the name reads, it's the 40 principles of love, 40 rules of love. And it speaks a lot about love, and not romantic love, but like brotherly love, and how everything is rooted in love, or everything should be rooted in love. So again, another great story. And I always see lots of quotes from Rumi. So I always want to know, okay, what's the story of this person? So again, it's good to be able to catch the references. Now I've read the 40 rules of love.
I'm just here thinking there are 40 rules of love. Wow.
There are probably 100, but
I'll be stuck at rule 3, which is probably like a general principle. But glad you shared that. All right, the second book on my list is Richard Paul Evans's Timepiece. Now, if you have not heard of Richard Paul Evans, go look Richard Paul Evans. When I read this book, it's actually not a very thick book, which is unusual because it's probably like a third of the size of Spy Dance. But it is based on a true story, and he actually had, I don't want to say 2 books in the series, but there were 2 books that I know that were based on real life stories. This one was based on a watch and the kind of things that it led to, everyday romantic relationships, following life, and just sharing something that was so real and writing about it so vividly that I felt like I was there, transported to another time, and knowing that there were actual people who lived that way. Love that book. If you have not heard of Richard Paul Evans, go check him out. Timepiece is the book to read.
And my last book that I gave as one of my top books is The Gutsy Girl. And it's actually, well, I think you have the wrong picture. It's actually by Kate. It's The Gutsy Girl Handbook, let me say. It's by Kate, and it's an inspirational book for like business women, imploring women to, you know, be more gutsy, be more brave, ask for raises and better positions at work, and to take, you know, gutsy steps and to explore, you know, step out of their feminine side, be more assertive, be more adventurous. And I think that resonates with my personality. Gutsy, you don't think I'm gutsy, Jamie?
Is there a safe way to navigate this conversation right now?
Maybe you should read a book on how to navigate conversations with Mimi. But yes, that's one of my favorite books.
It's taught me, Mimi. I don't need
Well, literally, we did talk about experience and learning as you go. So that's one of my favorite self-help books. It's one of those books that I tend to try to read at the beginning of every year to just keep me motivated and keep me focused on what I want to do. The life of a gutsy girl.
Interesting. The life of a guy, the movements, you know, the life of a gutsy girl. She's so gutsy, right? Yeah. All right. So the next book on my list, the last one actually, is, Word Power Made Easy. There it is. Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. For anyone who wants to improve his or her vocabulary, that is the book to read. And when I tell you that, I stand by that book. I got a copy of that book from my aunt when I was in my teens. And I started reading it.
A long time ago. Kidding.
So, yes. So I got a copy of that book when I was in my teens. And it's the kind of book that you can actually write with pencil, because the exercises are in it. What I like about that book is that there is etymology. So for instance, a lot of people know that we use words here. Sometimes the pronunciation is incorrect, but we still don't know where the word came from. In other words, the etymology or the origin of that word. That book takes the time to tell you what the root of the word is, to the point where I began to use words that I never knew existed before, because I could think about what I wanted to say and create the word, and then I would go and check it out. So things like epitome, for instance, that's just an example. And you'd never think of it if you don't know it, but think of epitome and think of epiphany, and think of the prefix epi, which literally means through. When you think of epitome, quick lesson here. When you think of epitome,
yes, teacher Jamie, teacher Morris.
Tamar, I think it is. It's a cut. So if someone is the epitome of something, you're literally looking through them. They're the cross section of representation of that thing that you're comparing them to. When you think of epiphany, panine, I think, is the Greek word for to show. So it's a showing through. So I had an epiphany. I'm looking back at something, I'm looking through it. Oh, I had an epiphany. I understand this now.
Well, I don't quite understand. But yes, that sounds very profound.
Read the book, Minnie. Read the book.
I will.
All right, so that is, our sharing what we like to read. Maybe next time you'll see what we like to watch. I don't know.
Right, but you can tell us what are your favorite books. Again, it's the beginning of the year. We've been talking about new year, new us, new habits. And I think one of the things I want to do more of is read more. So if you could drop a list of your favorite books. I think we asked you to do this before. But again, drop a list of your favorite books. We'll be so excited to check them out.
Absolutely. Hey, and stay tuned. Before you do that, stay tuned. We have more show for you in a moment. We will be back with more Good Morning SKN.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit, and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
So you mentioned something about a lump.
Babe, I just felt something on the left side of your breast. Tell me if you feel it.
Do you do your self-breast examinations monthly?
No, I don't.
Well, women are supposed to examine their breasts once monthly. Let me show you how. When at home, you can check while standing in the shower or while lying down. Simply place a pillow under your right shoulder and your right arm behind your head. Using your left hand, move the pads of your fingers around your right breast, gently covering the entire breast area and armpit. Use light, medium, and firm pressure. Squeeze the nipple and check for discharge and lumps. I did find a lump in the upper left breast. I am not sure what this means. Therefore, I need to refer you to the DMO, or you can see your private physician. The doctor is going to examine you and recommend an ultrasound or a mammogram. Listen, not every lump is cancer. 80 to 85% of the time, the lumps found are benign. That means they are non-cancerous. Lumps in the female breast or armpit can be non-cancerous tissue growth or fluid buildup, or a number of things that can present themselves at various times. But sometimes it's a sign of cancer. That is why I am referring you to see the doctor.
Okay, nurse. Thanks for your help.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Books introduced most of us to the world of imagination in our childhood. But while we may have dabbled with the thought of writing our own books in our youth, many of us may have not even thought of publishing one. But the world of authors has no age limit. Today we have a special surprise. Last month, we had the honor of featuring 6-year-old author Corinne Clark. We interviewed her in Trinidad via Zoom. But today she is on the set of Good Morning SKN, and she will talk with us more about her pop-up shop happening today from 11 a.m. outside of Flow on 4th Street. So here we are with the famous Corinne Clark and her doll. I love the wave, Corinne.
And her doll. You have to introduce
I'm sorry, the doll. You guys tell everybody it's Mimi asked you. What's the doll's name? Christina. So it's Christina, Corinne, and Aunt. All right. Corinne. So what have you been up to since you were on Good Morning SKN the last time, Corinne? What have you been doing?
Well, since I wrote my thing, went to my book of my Chronicles of that's true.
Do you have that book?
All right, well, we will be back to talk more with Corinne about that book in the Chronicles in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, SKN. Ciao, bango!
All right, so welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are here talking with child author Corinne Clark, one of my favorite people in Trinidad and Tobago and St. Kitts and Nevis as well. All right. So, since you were here the last time, since you were on the show the last time, what have you been up to?
I've been writing my third book, Chronicles of Corinne, Gratitude Journal and Activity Book, and it helps children to be thankful for all the things of their lives and thankful to others.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Can I see? Oh, it's quite nice, actually. Oh, it has a nice picture of you at the back, too. It's really great. So, I remember the last time you spoke to us about Christmas and parang season in Trinidad. Can you tell me some of the things that you did for Christmas? Did you have fun?
Well, yes, I drank some sorrel for Christmas.
You drank sorrel. Did you like it?
Of course.
Okay. What else? I don't like sorrel. What else did you do?
She's not that much fun.
Well, we
Who came over?
my aunt and my grandmother came over for Christmas.
Did you get any nice gifts? What did you get?
I got a doll and like an equestrian girl, and her name is Sunset Shimmer.
Excuse me? Okay. Did you name her or was that her name?
That was her name.
That was her name. Okay.
Did you get any gift for your daddy? Did you buy your daddy a gift?
Yeah.
You did? What did you buy your dad?
It's something that gives his device storage.
Oh, nice. I need some storage on my devices.
I'm gonna come to your house for Christmas. Am I invited to your house for Christmas? All right, good to know. Good to know. So now that you're back in St. Kitts, you said you've been here how many times?
4.
Right. So now that you're back in St. Kitts, have you been enjoying your stay?
Yes.
Tell me what you've been doing so far.
Well, I went to Carnival Batik.
Is that your first time?
No.
No. Okay. So what's it like? What was that like?
So I saw some dresses, and I even saw a fountain.
Yeah. Take good pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next time I'm hearing about Corinne, we might write about Corinne Chronicles at Carnival Batik. I don't know. Who knows, right?
That's great. So, Dad is coming home a regular. I mean, she's been here 4 times. Is it a regular occurrence for her? Is she going up in both places?
We're trying to make sure she sees as much of a great grandmother as possible. She's 98 right now.
Wow! Congratulations.
So yeah, so we've seen her twice since we've been in Federation, and I'll be popping up again just before we leave, just to make sure we spend some time with her. So yeah, whenever we get vacation, we're here. I mean,
So she's learning about her life, her roots in St. Kitts.
for sure. We were lucky enough to get here the last time just before all the lockdowns took place.
Oh,
So
reminder.
so as soon as things lifted this time around, we were here. Yeah.
Awesome.
So this time you're actually here for.
Well, we're actually here because Corinne is actually doing some work here.
Okay.
She's doing work
Wonderful.
here.
She's working.
I'm the only one here who is actually on vacation. I'm not really on vacation because I work for them. So we're here. So we figured why not do a pop-up. Corinne has done two pop-ups she did.
Yeah.
In Trinidad over the Christmas season, and we got some pretty good feedback from everybody. Everybody loved interacting with us. So we said, since we're here, let's try to do a pop-up here. So we'll be doing one this morning, starting from 11, right?
You're the busiest 6-year-old I know. Have you heard that?
Tell them what it is.
Yeah, tell us about your past. You can right there. Yeah.
This says my name, Chronicles of Corinne Clark, and it says I'm also the author and CEO of the Caribbean Unicorn Publications.
Yes,
Wow.
and that you are 6 years old. You are the busiest 6-year-old I know. So, Corinne, talk to me about your book a little bit. For people who've not read your book yet, can you tell us what is your favorite thing to do when you come to St. Kitts?
Well, I usually like to go to the beach.
You go to the beach a lot in Trinidad or no?
Well, not really, since in Trinidad, like the cases are a bit higher than St. Kitts.
Yeah. So this is like a vacation for you, despite what Dad says, right? You're not just working all the time. You're having fun too. Good, good.
So you mentioned that they're having a pop-up shop, Dad. What can we expect at the pop-up shop?
So the books would be on sale at a discount, right? So they'll be about 40 EC dollars.
Oh wow!
Right. So each of the books, and then we have some gifts. Show them here.
We have a Pozzanti puzzle.
So we have so those are the gifts for people who choose to take more than one book. You know, so you get a little, and of course you get to meet Corin.
Of course, the highlight.
Of course, we interact with you. Should be signing your books, and yeah, we just have fun interacting with everybody.
Right, so this is the fun part now. You're here as the author and CEO, right? I'm gonna ask you to read from your book, Chronicles of Corinne. Can you read a few pages first?
Which one? The first one, the second one, or
Which
the
one is
third
your
one?
favorite one?
The second one.
All right.
All right.
You know that's on record, right?
So happy that you're gonna be reading for us, Corinne.
Thank you.
You can look right into that camera when you look up. You read, okay?
Hello, friends. I am excited and so very happy. Do you know why? I'm vacationing in St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll be here for 10 days. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. My mommy too, but my daddy was born in St. Kitts and Nevis. I've been here twice before to visit my relatives. Mama Jen, Papito, and Uncle Ray live in St. Kitts. My great-granny, Auntie Joya, Auntie Joyce, Auntie Nola, and Uncle Mackie are just some of my relatives who live on Nevis. I'm really excited to spend time with them. My daddy said now that I'm a bit older, I can finally get to the true tourist experience. A tourist is someone who leaves their country to visit another country. I left Trinidad to visit St. Kitts and Nevis, so I'm a tourist. I can't wait to explore.
Wow. Corinne? Oh, that picture. Can you show that picture for us, please? That is.
Oh, it's the same one from the puzzle. Wow, that's really, really nice. Dad, when did Corinne start reading? Because to me, she's reading like a professional.
I don't want to. My mom should be getting me a cue, but I think she started around at 2.
Reading at 2. Yes. That's amazing.
And my mommy wanted to be an author, but I actually got to it before her.
So you can teach her how to be an author, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conversation from your house must be really lively.
Yeah, if you check my mom's Facebook, she documents them. And I think we might actually be putting them together sometime to release as well.
That's a very good idea. Very good idea.
So, Corinne, are you excited about meeting people today at your book launch, your book signing? Yes. Will you take pictures? Will you sign autographs? That's so. Can you tell us where it's going to be?
It's going to be outside of Flow. That tent.
Flow in Bass there?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
That starts at 11, correct?
Yep.
All right.
11.
Great.
11 until.
11 until. So, Corinne, can you give our viewers a special invitation to your book signing? Sure. You can look into the camera and invite them.
Gosh, I have no one to say.
That's okay.
Don't worry. It's fine. Just say come.
Welcome them to your pop-up shop.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to my pop-up shop, starting at 11 a.m. outside of Flow, Basseterre.
Nice. Awesome. You are. Listen, I'm in awe of you. Corinne, I'm your biggest fan now. I'm your biggest adult fan, okay? All right? So no matter what anybody else says, I'm the #1 fan. Don't take my place. All right.
And will they have t-shirts as well? No? Oh, okay. Maybe next time.
Yeah, but why don't we focus on that? Because that's actually a very good one. And that's supposed to be you on that shirt, right? That shirt. I love it.
That's my logo
That's your logo.
on the shirt.
So whenever I see that, I know that I'm looking at something from Corinne. Awesome. You're a boss, aren't you? So, okay, talk to me about the logo. Did you pick that logo out? Or did you have help?
We actually went through a couple of different artists, but Corinne plays around on Canva. So while I was trying, she would say, "Daddy, let's do this instead. Let's do that instead."
I do
too. So eventually we got to something she was comfortable with, and we just sent it to the professionals for them to nice stuff.
I love the
same thing happened with one of the illustrations in her book.
Mm-hmm.
She actually interacted with the artist to say, "Listen, no, I'm not dark enough. I need a different color here."
But this is what happens when you have a 6-year-old CEO. Corinne, it is an honor to meet you. Thank you for coming. Excited about your pop-up shop. Thank you, Dad, for coming into the studio as well. We will be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. 'Cause I love you, brother, my sister, and we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up, daddy, roll.
morning. This is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
And we're back with Good Morning SKN, our final segment, and we're here to find out what's happening. So recently, Turkey Killer sent shockwaves through the nation with his extraordinary birthday outfit and shoot. So today we have the pleasure of having him here in studio, and we're going to find out more about him. Join us as we welcome Jamal Butler, better known as Turkey Killer. Welcome, Jamal.
Welcome.
Hi. So your birthday outfits, I've been following you for some time. Your birthday outfits are always over the top, extraordinary. How do you come up with these designs?
I imagine the things of designing how I want the suit to do. And once I get that in my imagination, I will look for the material that will shine. And once I get the material straight to my tailor and give my tailor all the information on a piece of paper for him to follow the instruction. You never do it alone without my instruction.
Oh, wow. So you're the designer.
Yes.
Well, you were talking about looking for material that shines. This definitely shines today. That purple shines. So is purple your favorite color or new favorite?
All colors is my favorite.
All colors are your favorite. Yes, because I've seen you in different ones. I've seen you in like red. I think I've seen you in gold. But is sequins, like, do you like sparkly stuff? Is sequins your favorite fabric?
Yes, sequins is my favorite because I does not just use them for celebration, not just for competitions. I use them when I'm traveling. So if I'm going to a place where I'm going to meet my brothers, I will go in one of these to let them know, you cannot miss me, brother. I am here in something that's shining.
Definitely.
As a matter of fact, I think that's a great, it's great for, like I was running this morning, if I had reflective material like that, seriously, nobody will miss you. So maybe that's something that you can think about. So did you expect such a reaction to your birthday photo shoot? Because you got a reaction, you know that.
Yes, I expect that because I always do it on my own.
So it's an every year thing?
Yes, it's nothing to be scared of.
As we can see.
Right. So, I mean, so do you do this every year for your birthday?
Yes.
Is it something that you look forward to?
Yes, because some of us does not take on our birthday. We just think about just seeing the day that we're born and does not come up with an idea of celebration.
Mm-hmm. So this is your idea of celebration?
Yes.
And every time you put that suit on, you feel like it's a party, right?
Yes. Even though it may not be a party event, you're like I'm partying with myself.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, I mean, you had all of these photos. Can you tell us who is your photographer and who edits your pictures?
My mom is my photographer and I'm the editor.
Wow. You guys
talking about a whole new craft here.
Yes.
So my mom will take my phone, take my pictures, and I will just go into my phone and edit.
Wonderful. So tell us about the editing process. Does it take a long time? Again, you had so many pictures. I went on your Facebook and I felt like I was scrolling for days. Does it take a really long time?
No, it doesn't take a long time. It could just done in an hour.
Well, that means that you could take a lot of pictures.
Yes.
Awesome. What do your fans tell you? You know, you're big on social. What do they tell you? What are the comments?
He's big in real life.
Well, they're telling me to keep shining, don't give up. And some are just so shocked that I reach from one island to the next. They didn't expect me to travel in the digital form. But I let them know, since we cannot travel, right now, I'm traveling in the digital form from one place to the next.
Wow, I did see some pictures of you in different locations. I hope that we're able to see some of these. So you're very popular online, but can you tell us how you became popular? I think you did some calypso, you did some singing. Can you tell us about that? And have you retired or are you still singing?
I get popular because of my music. It brought so many people home, and making myself on social media, it has been like a highlight to the world and our outside neighbors and our home neighbors. So I always show them that when you don't have no one to speak to in your own community, speak to the online neighbors. Sometimes they encourage you according to the conversation you keep up with them.
How do you select your backgrounds? Because your backgrounds are very interesting, you know.
I just think of the background that I will like. And you know, they always say, download what you think of and just find yourself to edit, make yourself look like you are there, even though you are not there.
Yes. Looking at this outfit right now, I don't know if you guys at home can see the whole thing, but I'm telling you, he's covered in purple from
head to toe. Sparkly purple.
Literally head to toe.
Sparkly purple from head to toe.
You got some tailor.
Well, the tailor will do the stitching, but I will do the design of the shoes, the belt, the hat, and the gloves.
So you
had gloves as well.
Yes, the gloves are right. See?
Take them out while I talk about your shoes, because I really thought that for a second the tailor did the outfit and you just stepped into it from the bottom. Now you're telling me that there's shoes that are separate.
Yes.
Wow. And you designed them.
Yes, I sewed the glove with my own hand.
Oh, you did the gloves with your own hand?
Yes, I did not use a machine. I just use my hand and I do the gloves.
Wow, this is, I mean, are you inspired for your birthday outfit, Jamie?
I'm having a Johnny Cochran moment right now, but anyway. Let's go on.
So what is this supposed to be?
Well, the belt is a title of celebration.
Oh, wow.
And because I does not have one person to celebrate with, I have many people who is on the same day in the same month. I always said, if I'm going to make a belt, I cannot make one.
Oh.
I have to make two, because once I have my celebrate partner with me, I cannot left him or she out. I have to give them a title to hold when it comes to the photos.
Oh, right. And I saw a picture with you with Dr. Denzel Douglas. He's also born on that same day as you. And I saw him wearing your belt, so now I see where it comes in. I mean, I think we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Turkey Killer, who is entertainer, fashion designer extraordinaire. We'll be right back.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
All right, welcome back. We have been talking with, and I get to say, we've been talking with the Turkey Killer, and we will be looking some more at what makes him so popular. So, Turkey Killer, you are also a Calypsonian. Your most recent performance was in Sugar Mass 49. All right? So, it's with your song Get Real as well. We have a clip. Let's take a look at it.
You cannot improve a natural beauty, and God did not make you ugly. So you confuse, you like fake news. You got issues with reality. You got fake, they're real. But you're looking a real man like me.
All right, so we're back with the Turkey Killer. Get Real. Talk to me about that performance.
Well, that performance is trying to tell the people, be real with your natural beauty. So if you already have a black natural beauty color, no need to change your color that God gave you. Be real with your color, make yourself look good, because when you try to change your color, it's like you're just trying to tell yourself, I don't want the color that God gave me. But it's good to be real with your own self.
It's about enhancing your natural beauty.
Yes.
Okay, so, so you've become popular, very, very popular online. Can you give us tips on how we can also become popular? Well, maybe not as popular as you, but close to as popular?
Well, to make yourself popular, be a self-loving person and make yourself feel good. Don't be scared of the eyes that look at you. The more they look at you, the more you shine.
That's a good one.
I'm going to remember that because of the outfit, by the way, but that's really, really good advice. All right, so what would you like to say to your fans?
I would like to say hi to my fans. I know you all cannot miss me. I know you all maybe miss for performing for Calypso, but I hung up my Calypso belt because of the situation we've been fighting, and I just want to be real with what God gave me. He gave me a body, and I cannot break it. I have to keep it. And I have to say hi to my brother in California, my brother in DVI, my sister in St. Thomas, my sister in the United States, and my sister in St. Kitts and Nevis. You can't miss me. Always find me on social media if you can't reach me on my cell phone.
Wonderful. So you mentioned just know that you hung up your Calypso hat. Why?
Because of the situation we're going through, you gotta be inject, and no one knows when your transmission body can break.
Oh, I understand. Okay, we get it.
Any plans to go back, bro? To resume?
Well, I am thinking about going back to the Calypso right now. I was thinking to change the musical style, and just to show the fans, I am a versatile person into music. Even though I'm not singing right now, I'm a trumpeter. I play trumpet.
Oh, wow. So do you plan to pursue a career in playing the trumpet?
Well, when the time is right, I may do it one of these days. It may not be now, but one of these days I may be live on social media, playing for the fans to let them know what skill I have into the music. It's not just the singing, but everyone are musician who love to sing. They are musician because they know the beat that they want, but who say you can step up and become the musician of being an instrument player.
I like that. I like that you keep your fans guessing, though. You haven't revealed too much. So there'll always be something to go back to your page to see. Maybe that's another secret in being popular.
Probably. So what else can we expect from you? So your birthday is gone. There's so many more days in the year. Birthday's in January. What can your fans look forward to?
Well, they can look forward to maybe like a Valentine photo shoot.
Oh.
They may look forward to an Easter photo shoot. They may look forward to a music festival photo shoot.
Wonderful.
And I have to say this one, when we get to Thanksgiving, that photo shoot as well. I'll be there.
Well, thank you so much, Jamal. It's been a pleasure being in the presence of royalty. You're definitely shining, and we'll take some of those tips that you gave us today. Thank you so much for joining us on Good Morning SKN.
Well, always good to be yourself.
Good advice. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
We want to thank you for joining us for one of our greatest shows.
Yeah, one of our greatest shows today.
Honestly, we have been filled with so much energy, so much laughter.
And so much fun. And so much inspiration.
Yes, definitely.
Yes,
Good
yes.
advice from, unusual sources.
Yes, Turkey Killer, yeah.
Turkey Killer, definitely. So, you know what? We want to thank you guys for stopping by our way. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Good Morning SKN. Of course, you can check us out on social media. You know that if you're watching right now. But we're on YouTube. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Yeah, we've made it all the way to TikTok. Awesome.
Yeah.
So the handle is at Studio327 Inc. Be sure to check us. I'm going to get it right this time. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow at 8, all right?
So don't forget to start your mornings with us.
Why
See you
not?
tomorrow.
Bye.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.